Hi, chat. How we doing? Y'all have no idea how happy I am right now to be fed. I had a 12-hour work shift today, and I did not have lunch. I haven't eaten since, like, 9 o'clock this morning. This pizza is saving my life. So I apologize if you have to listen to Zilla eating ASMR for a little bit before we actually start playing the game. But, like, I need this right now, okay? Let me have this. Okay. Laughing, Bula, Tato, Deadly Canadian, Luco, Wild Tyrant, Nivian, Artistic Crustacean, Big Steppa, Ella Not Dave, James. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna keep eating this stuffed crust sausage pizza. I want my second slice. I have 2 more to go after this. Hell, I might just eat the whole damn pizza. I haven't decided yet. But, since we have some downtime, if you guys want to do, like, a little bit of Q&A, you know, just talk, discuss things, ask me questions, what have you, then we can do that. And then when I'm done eating, we'll get into the gameplay. That sound good? I think it sounds good. Doesn't sound as good as this pizza is, though. What? I love this fucking pizza. This is the best pizza I've had in, like, months. Just because of how hungry I am. Mmm. Hornet, Captain, welcome to the stream. Captain, glad to hear you're playing on Spino again. Are you enjoying it? Like, actually, are you having fun? I hope you are. I really do. Who's my favorite YouTuber and why is it you? Well, because you're awesome, Tyrant, and you pay me money. So I have to say that you're my favorite. Off the top of your head, if you could have anything become a nest or home cave decoration, what would it be and why? Mmm. Mmm. That's a good question. That I will double back to after I thank El Not Dave for the super. Oh my gosh. Okay, it is a not Dave. I'll get to your question in just a moment. I'm gonna double back to the home cave decoration thing. I want shark teeth. That's what I want. I want shark teeth. That's my answer. Ostro said, dude, this is your stream. We can't stop you. You're goddamn right you can't. How does Frenzy tear Titan with damage reduction call fair into Spoon? If you know. Just fine. Titan does just fine into Spino. It does not need help. Azrael said, picked up Spinal because of you. I've been watching the massive backlog of your videos. Super surprised you lost to that duck like you did. I'm not. ADZ's a very good duck player. Or Ads, sorry. He got onto me last time for calling him ADZ. Ads is a very, very good duck player, and I kind of played stupid. sometimes, like during some of those. So anyway, the super chat question. Since I haven't been here since the start, what got you into playing Path of Titans? I love this question. This is a good question. Gonna unlock some Zilla lore here. Okay. I got into Path because my chat moderator, Laughing Devil, bought me the game. Because I couldn't run the Isle. And Path had much lower spec requirements, which meant I could play it on my laptop, which Laughing was aware of. Hence why he bought me the game. And I've been playing it mostly ever since. It took me like a year after he bought it for me to like really get into it. Am I winning, Spoon? Not yet. I mean, yes. Yes, I am winning. I have stuffed crust pizza. I'm living the goddamn dream, Zemos. I'm living it. It's awesome. Best beverage to go with pizza? Root beer. Period. End of story. Not open for discussion. Did I hear Envy Gun's idea about home caves? Yeah, I talked to him about it. I think it's a good baseline, but actually, I can go look up what I said to him. Hold on. Because I did like his idea, but like I wanted to expand on it because I thought it was worth expanding on. So, okay. What did I say to him? Ah, right. So his idea for like replacing home caves with like interactable territories, I said instead of replacing current home caves, you add claimable caves as territory, where it works exactly like how Envy Gun pitched it. Put one in each POI, and then like cut the number of home caves on the map in half. That was my feedback to him on his idea. I did really like his idea, though. It was very good. It'd be super cool if it was actually, like, implemented and expounded on. To be fair, Azrael, the 1v3 against those three Spinos had really bad builds. And they were playing really dumb. And they were also up against an experienced Spino player using the meta build. So, like, it just kind of happens that way, you know? Well, not Dave said, I used to be an Isle player, but it felt abandoned, and I stopped a while ago. Lucky me, I never started, so there's that. James is eating fried rice. Nice. Did I see the mod that brings back Spinos and Zarko's crushing bites? I did. I really dislike it. It was funny for like one session, and then I dropped it and said, I never want to play with this ever again. Went live on your lunch break? Well, we're having food together. We're eating together, Coda. I'm eating pizza. Jerome said, Zilla, are you going to make those semi/full aquatic speed changes a suggestion on the suggestion board? I'd like to update it. Okay, so here is the thing with that suggestion. The more I dig into the state of aquatic combat, the more I realize a lot of shit needs to change. Like, I don't think you can make those speed changes and then just drop it. There is so much other stuff to fix that if I'm going to make like a real pitch to fix aquatic combat, I need to take everything into account. The whole philosophy of how aquatic combat is balanced right now needs to change. period. And it needs to change before Leeds shows up, because if Leeds shows up with Alderaan's current aquatic balance philosophy, it's going to be a mess. And it's going to be another thing we have to fix. I would rather fix aquatic combat, get it balanced now, right? Get it fixed. So when Leeds does show up, it's less of a headache to try and make work in the meta. That's just... Anyway, I have ideas for how to do that. I'm going to be trying to get other path creators that are experienced in aquatic combat onto a panel with me, like on a live stream for a podcast episode, where we're going to talk about this stuff. And we're going to workshop ideas on how to do all of this. And then we're going to throw it at Alderaan and cross our fingers and pray that they listen to us. I have a stuffed crust sausage pizza, Coda, that my wife ordered for me, and I'm so happy because this is the first thing that I've eaten in 12 hours. Question time. I know percent armor increases from sub lowers movement speed, but does the waterlog passive or hide that give armor also lower movement speed? Fun fact, Asriel, armor subs lowering movement speed is no longer the case. That is a deprecated feature. You do not actually move slower if you are an armor sub on a dino that has one. The subspecies bonuses do not have downsides attached to them anymore. They are purely boosts. Like, they're only beneficial. They do not come with drawbacks. Any ability that increases your armor will not give you movement speed penalties unless it specifically says that it makes you slower, but there are not abilities that do that. So don't worry about your speed being affected by any armor-related abilities. You will move just as fast as all the other Spinos, or whatever you happen to be playing. Huddy said, sometimes as an old player, I wish they brought back IC and Grand Plans, actually plans. I miss the old models for Apexes when they're actually big. It really drives me away from the game. I'm sorry to hear that, Huddy. But I do really like Spino's current model, post-TLC. I like the TLC model so much better than the old Spino model. The old Spino model looked malnourished and sad. This new one looks healthy and alive, and I really like it. It feels very animated. You know, it breathes, and I like the vibe. Yeah, Zemos, the podcast is going to return. The current list of people I have sent out invitations for this panel to is Indoraptode, Ads, Loki Craze, PvP Nath, and the Wild Tyrant. Alongside myself, right? So, old gold aquatic players, and then me. And Tyrant. You know, two relatively fresh people to the scene. Hi, Fledged. I'm doing pretty good. I have pizza. I'm happy. Zill, may I ask you a question? If you could add a semi or full aquatic, what would it be? Lurdu. I'd add Lurdu. 3-slot Hadrosaur semi-aquatic. Or hell, make it a 2-slot. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Just make it small. Make it a mid-tier. Give Duck something to group up with in the water. As said, was that a recent change? I was trying Armor Mag versus non, and there was a noticeable difference between them to me. If you meant in the water, that may have been true. But I assure you, there is no difference in raw, like, land movement speed when you're running armor subs. Unless you're playing on community servers where they modify stats. I don't know if community servers would be able to cause subspecies to inflict penalties on other stats. I don't know if that's a thing they can do, but if they can, it wouldn't surprise me if they did. There's a lot of community servers that kind of cling to the old way of doing things. Lafron said, "Why did you choose your name, Zilla?" Well, that's another good question that unlocks another piece of Zilla lore. So, we're gonna talk about that. You see, I came up with this gamer tag. It was the Big Zilla 17. Why the 17, you ask? Because I made this gamer tag in 2017. Very original, I know. The Big Zilla. I really liked Godzilla at the time. I was just kind of a big fan, right? So my YouTube channel used to be the Big Zilla 17. And it was really cringe, and I did Era of Terror content. If you know Era of Terror from Roblox. The original Era of Terror, not any of like the remakes that they did. I did do a live stream of the one of the newer reboots of Era of Terror, and I hated it, and I'm not going back. But anyway, skipping that, right? I actually wanted to take YouTube seriously, and I was like, I can't go around calling myself the Big Zilla 17. That is hella cringe, and it sounds like I'm 12 when I say that, right? Because teenagers make such great life choices, right? Right. So anyway, I just decided, screw it. Everyone just called me Zilla anyways, or Big Z. So considering I didn't want any like innuendo implications, I didn't want kids calling me Big Z. That just didn't seem right. So I changed my handle to @Zilla17, and I just call myself Zilla now. As like a tip my hat to my past, you know? Like a nod to how things were without it necessarily being that cringe. What made me want to start making YouTube videos? I cared a lot about the game. And I used to make videos, right? So my friends were like, Zilla, dude, you're super knowledgeable about this game. You're really good at it. You have interesting opinions. Even if sometimes they're wrong, you at least talk about it in depth. You should make content. It would be really cool. And so my daughter was about 6 months old, right? My eldest daughter, 6 months old. And I was in a depressive rut that I was unable to climb out of. And I was sitting one night after I got off work. Wife was asleep, kid was asleep. I was just playing Path of Titans, and I was like, man, I can't keep doing this. I have to do something with myself. Every night I come home and I pull up to my computer and I just disassociate for the entire evening until I go to bed. And then I wake up and I go to a job that I hate and I do it all over again. This is not healthy. And so I told my wife, I'm going to start doing YouTube. I'm going to take all my gaming time that I spend at night. I'm going to stop dissociating. I'm going to do something productive. I'm going to do something that could maybe help support this family. And it will be me doing something that I love and enjoy doing in tandem, right? Like, I'll love doing it, and it'll make me feel good about myself instead of feeling like a washed up, unshaven mess of a human being. So that's why I started my YouTube channel. The end of October of last year. We haven't even been doing content for a year yet, and we're already almost at 4K. And it's crazy to me. So, yeah. I did it for my daughter. Really. That's why I came back. And now we're here. So, cheers to that. as I wolf down my third slice of pizza. Godzilla's a very popular name on officials or any server in general. It is. In fact, there are several people in the community that have been in the community for longer than me that have Zilla in their name and have been referenced to as Zilla, and I get confused for them all the time. It's kind of funny. I am doing much better, Pale. I'm doing much, much better. Your husband got into writing? Oh my god, I love writing! I have wanted to do my own take on the Nibelungen lead, and forever. For the past 3 years, I've wanted to write my own spin on the Nibelungen lead. If any of you don't know what the Nibelungen lead is, look it up. Okay? Really old folktale. Based off of the Saga of the Volsungs, kind of, loosely. It's the Germanic spin on Sigurd and the guy who slayed the dragon Fafnir. What do I think about Godzilla? What do I think about Zilla Jr., your goat? That movie was fine. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it was fine. I was entertained when I watched it the first time, okay? I will openly admit that. How do you spell that? Hold on, I got you. That's how you spell it. Basically, to put a long story short, it's a story about this really cool guy who slayed a dragon, sees a pretty girl he wants to marry, has to jump through a bunch of hoops to appease her brothers to get them to let him marry this girl. And then he gets backstabbed and killed by his in-laws. And then the second half of the book is the protagonist's wife, so the sister, just taking revenge on her family for killing her husband. It's really cool. It would be fun to write my own spin, but chat's not lagging, there's just a delay. What about MonsterVerse Godzilla? I really like MonsterVerse Godzilla. If you mean the legendary MonsterVerse, the legendary movies, I think he's cool. I like him. They're fun movies. What do I think about Valachi? I think he's a really swell guy. I'd love to talk to him more, but he's so busy, and he's got his own life that's going on. I don't want to barge in and seem like I'm trying to mooch off of his fame or anything. I'm very aware of the difference in viewer base. This is an issue that I had with Envy Gun, admittedly, where I was initially a little bit hesitant to talk to him. But my own personal apprehensions of worrying about how I'm coming across aside, Valachi's just another guy, he's a guy doing things. And, I'm happy to let him continue doing those things. Would I like to have more interaction with him? Yeah, I think that'd be great. But for the time being, it's not really necessary. You know? I'm doing okay by myself. And he's doing okay by himself too. So, you know. Astro said, I write as a hobby, would also like to start content creating soon. Streaming while playing pot is on the list. Do it! I have to tell you this now. Do it! Do not let your apprehensions about your quality stop you. Just do it. Get started. Get on the grind. It is worth it. It's hard work, and you gotta really be on the ball. But when you find your niche, you find your joy. Can I recommend a dino? I've fallen into the Thalon ramp trap and want to try something new, but can't stop them. Try Styra. Yeah, let's go with that. Try Styra. What a guy gotta do for a dap up? Brother, all you gotta do is ask. I'll dap you up on you. I got you. What are my top 5 favorite dino builds other than Spino's builds and why? You gonna ask me to list 5? Ew. That's gross. That's gross. I will do 1. Okay? Full Bumbrick Anno. Best anchor on the herbivore roster to act as like a group tank that actually plays like a tank in an MMO. Full Fracture Rushed Anno is peak, and you cannot change my mind. Love it. Love it! Okay. Alright, so here's the deal. I have one more piece of pizza left, but I do not want to, like, stuff it in my face and end up in a food coma. So I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to snack on it as we go about our business. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go refill my root beer, and then I'm going to come back, I'm going to sit down, and we're going to get into this, okay? We're almost at the 30-minute yard. I've been yapping for half an hour. Chat, what am I doing in my life? Oh. Toast Mac, I will answer your question when I get back with my root beer. Anyway, give me just like 1 minute. I'll be right back, y'all. Have an ad. Yeah, let's do that. Ugh. Oh, shit. It's okay, false alarm. The headphones are not broken. We are A-okay. Ah. Okay. It is time for me to suffer. Whew. Man, I wonder how many people are going to be just like off-put by the VOD. Be like, oh, he's not playing the video game? Ew! And they're going to click off of it. And there's going to be like no watch retention. Okay. Claw attack, waterborne. Okay. All right. Here's the deal, y'all. Okay. Here is the deal. I want to run solar powered, but I can't. All right? I cannot run solar powered. Do you want to know why? I will explain why. Deinachirus is why I cannot run solar powered. Waterlogged Duck is faster than Spino, both on land and in the water. So if I don't run streamlined and I get swarmed by ducks, I just die. Okay? I hate that. I hate Deinachirus with full send syndrome. The problem is that every Deinachirus I have ever met on officials has full send syndrome. Every time I've ever encountered a Deinachirus on officials, it is because I am low HP, they are a duck that's been called in by their group mates to come finish me off, and they just hold the W key into me, and there's nothing I can do. And I hate it, because they have more stamina than me. So, I'm going to run a land setup, and I'm going to run streamlined. And it is, understand, it is purely because of that fuck-ass goose, alright? Okay, I said it, I said my piece, breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, we are zen. We're cool, we're chill. All right, let's rock. I have done a face reveal, chat. It's on a really old community post. What, isometric company? No, I'm gonna be running it solo today, Fledged. I haven't gotten some solo gameplay in a while. I kind of got really pissed off with it the last time I tried, but I need to get back into it because I need to practice. Can I show the abilities? Yeah, hold on. Let me just set auto walk. Bite. Waterborne while wet, gain up to 2 acceleration and up to 10% armor based on wetness amount. Makes you try out slower outside of water. 15% increased stamina recovery rate while swimming. Claw attack. Bite claw or generic stuff. Fisher because food. Streamline for extra swim speed and boosted recovery while diving. Tide Strider for extra stamina recovery on land because this is primarily a land build and I don't want to completely turn myself asthmatic. Sweep because tail attack. Rally Call because Rally Call. We're not running AoE, so there's no reason to run Dazing. And Undertow sucks butt, so I'm running Sweep. I'm just a purple lizard behind the camera. I mean, come on. Come on, Artistic. Come on, why you gotta do me like that, huh? Why you gotta do me like that? You didn't even bring up the hat. Shame on you. Shame on you. Didn't bring up the hat. Well, typical Gondor population distribution. What's wrong with Undertow? What's wrong with Undertow is that it's not Sweep. On land, it has a longer cooldown than Sweep, and it costs stamina, which is not great. And, like, it does knockback, but okay, this is gonna sound really weird, y'all, but bear with me. As a, like, balance head and a person who could probably cite off different dino stats off of memory. I really dislike relying on Undertow in land and water combat because the damage fall off, depending on how far away from the center they are, makes it very hard for me to determine how much damage they're taking from my attacks, which makes it very difficult for me to track how much damage I've actually dealt to them until I see them start scarring. However, I have a rough idea of about when my sweep is doing good damage versus not doing good damage. Like, I can tell because I can see where the attack connects on their body, and I know about how much damage it's doing. Right? So, that is why I run sweep. Even if Undertow was technically better, I would still run sweep purely to make my mental tracking of my opponent's life total a little bit easier. Good luck with the rest of your shift, Coda. Show the abilities that are bad against ducks. Both of these. If you use either of these against ducks, you are going to die. Because you will not have the ability to force them off of you in the water. Sweep will be your only way of keeping them at bay. And the 15-second cooldown will betray you because Duck's water dodge is only on a 10-second cooldown. You will get full scent by Ducks if you do not run Streamlined. And they'll be able to tell, too, because they'll notice they're faster than you. Significantly. You're having a hard time getting fights on Spino unless it's like multiple Rexes. What's your suggestion to try and get more one-on-ones? You have to be at a disadvantage to get a fight or they run and I never get to finish it. Welcome to playing Spino! Woohoo! That is the definition of the official's experience on Spinosaurus. Unfortunately, Azrael, most officials players are, for lack of a better way of putting this, and please, nobody in chat take personal offense to this, most officials players are kind of chicken shit. They look at a Spino on their Titan or on their Rex, and they think to themselves, no thank you. No thank you, I don't want to fight that. It looks like it might be able to kill me. I'm gonna not bother. But then, right, 5 minutes later, they come back with a second Rex or a second Titan standing next to them, and all of a sudden they are acting tough. Like, oh yeah, we'll fight you, Spino. Ho, ho, ho. Like, of course they will. Because they're gonna win. Like, duh. You see what I mean? So, you have to understand, if you, as a Spino player, beat the ever-loving piss out of somebody and get them to run away from you, you won that fight. You might not have secured the kill, but you won that fight. If you successfully escape with your life against a group that outnumbers you or outslots you, that's a win. What can kill a Spino in 1v1? Rex, Titan, Bars, Eo, Dinokairos, and other Spinos. And Tylo. And Urino. And Suko. And Amarga. And Anno. And sometimes Stego, now that I think about it. What random question? What skin do you use? So pretty. You want to steal from me? Well, if you're gonna just like go out there and say I'm gonna steal it, then I kind of don't want to tell you which one it is, because I don't like running into LARPers. What is the right time to use rallying call? Is there a specific time? Yes, you only use rallying call when the person you're fighting uses their own call. Except Titan. Titan, it gets a little bit more complicated. If the Titan pops Terrifying Presence, which is the call that gives it damage reduction, if it uses Terrifying Presence, then you use Rally. If Titan gets, like, a little bit of bleed on you, like, let's say a couple bites worth of bleed, and then it, like, backs off, and you don't like having that bleed, I would Rally Call, like especially if it uses, like, Blood Chilling Roar or something. You can use Rally Call to give yourself 60 seconds of telling the Titan, you will trade poorly into me, period, end of story, goodbye. And it gives you about a minute of reprieve from the Titan if that Titan is smart. If the Titan's stupid and it tries to fight you while that armor call's up, you stat check it. But, against Titan, you want to use those 60 seconds to find more favorable terrain for your matchup, or to just, like, get to water and leave. How many of those matchups are 50-50? Of the ones that I listed that could beat Spino in a 1v1? Oh, okay, so the only ones that are 50-50 in my eyes, out of those ones that I list, or the ones that I listed, are Dinokairos, Stegosaurus, technically Amarga. Technically. Those, to me, strike me as the 50-50. Suko is like 60-40 in the Spino's favor if the Suko's running bleed. If the Suko's not running bleed, then it's kind of a wash and the Suko gets its ass kicked. But if the Suko is... Okay, I should preface. If the fight is taking place in the water and the Suko has bleed, the Suko can kill you. Any other situation, like, if a Suko tries to fight you on land, it dies. If a Suko tries to fight you in the water without bleed, it dies. Like, that's just what happens. Jamel, welcome to the channel. And welcome to the stream. We're happy to have you. Ligma bowels? For Ligma bowls? Oh, man. Oh, man. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could catch it. What subspecies is best on Spino? There is no single best subspecies on Spino. They're all good, just for different things. Zilla, would you consider me a LARPer for your Moog, even though I used the skin before Moog TLC with almost the same colors? No! No. With Amarga specifically, it's not LARP. You become one of us. You become a member of the herd. We need more Zebra Moogs. More Zebra Moog LARPing, please. Yes. Give me more. We need to The herd must grow. The herd must grow. I'm trying to listen for anything, like, big I could maybe fight. I guess I'll just make my way over to Hunter's Thicket. That might be a mistake, but we'll see. Dirtstorm said, "Hello Zilla, been watching your videos recently and I've been enjoying watching them. They also made me a fan of playing as Amarga. Hope stream goes well." Glad you're enjoying Amarga. And I'm glad you're enjoying the content. I'll try to make sure it stays entertaining, you know. Declan, welcome to the stream. Been too attached to Zebra Moog since you saw it while looking at backer skins? Fair. Very fair. Day 20 of no soda? That came from Burned. Interesting. I'm gonna go investigate that. I'm gonna guess you're drinking water. That's my final answer. Would I mind showing you which skin I would have chose if I hadn't chosen King of Egypt? I don't mind at all, actually. I can show you right now. I would have done... Give me a second. Here we go. This. Alternatively, you could get a little bit more teal instead of the yellow, but I like the gold blending with the teal on the snout. This is what I would have done. Ren, welcome to the stream. How we doing? Doing pretty good. Of course you would say Water Dragon's the best skin, Silver. Did I see what you said? No, Declan, I didn't. Let me scroll back up. Killed 5 Rexes with Titan, Metri, Latin, and Conch. Nice. That sounds about right for how that would go. Bleeder comps go kind of crazy into Mega Packs because they can't do any of the stupid heal cycling. But Bleed as a status is just, like, wicked strong, so... Oh, I heard a Spino out here. But I don't know where it would be. Have I even seen anyone on Gondwa? Not yet. I heard some people though. I heard a Spino broadcast out this way. I'm on a server. I'm on officials at the moment. I'm on Gondwa officials. What am I hoping to run into today or for a fight? I'm hoping to run into something that isn't slop. 12 slot groups would be preferred. I don't mind fighting outnumbered. I actually really enjoy fighting coordinated 12 slot groups as my Spino. It's very entertaining being like effectively becoming a boss monster for them to fight, which is kind of fun. Unfortunately, it's never a 12 slot group. It's always some kind of like mixed diet mega slop crap. This ramp keeps throwing me off. I wouldn't put the link in chat, Azriel, but you could definitely put it in my Discord server. Which, if you haven't joined that, you absolutely should. Our community is super awesome. Links in the description. It's your average officials gameplay everywhere other than GP, sometimes self-flash GV being so desolate. Yeah. Has been rough for you lately? Yeah, I feel you, Train Crash. I feel you. I would take a break too, unfortunately. Playing this game currently pays me money. Because I get that sweet, sweet ad revenue from all of you lovely people who join me here for streams and watch my videos. And since those sweet dollar bills that I get from Google help keep the lights on, I kind of don't really have a choice, you know? I just get paid to suffer, effectively. Okay. I want the turtle. Give me the turtle. Nice plug. Well, thank you. I try. I don't know why my cats keep pawing at doors. Give me 1 second. Sorry, my cat was overstimming me and I wanted to kick him across the room, so I had to go, make him stop. Politely. I don't abuse animals, for the record. Just sometimes want to. You know, you get the urge. want to treat him like a football. What dino do I think I have the most kills of? Other Spinos. Mainly because that's like the one thing I can consistently get fights with on my Spino. But I think that actually might... I think the number of Sarcos I've killed might be higher, now that I think about it. So probably Sarcos. We're gonna go into the hoodoos for water because I'm bored. I feel like it. V, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Zilla, do you watch any sports? And if you do, what team for that sport do you like the most? I don't. I actually really dislike watching sports. I would much rather play them. No, I did not see what you said. Hats crashed into your Metri and died. And in other news, grass is green. How's Gondwa tonight? Boring so far, but we did spend like the first 30 minutes of the stream at the game menu, so like haven't been at this for too long. What's my favorite sport? Here in America, my fellow American citizens like to be cringe and call it soccer, but it's better known as football. I was left midfield back in high school because I was the only person on my team other than our one guy that was left-handed. I was the only person who could kick a really good cross with my left foot. Hanya with the super, manifesting an EO. How dare you, sir? I mean, thank you, but how dare you? Oh, V, you misunderstand. I don't want to be in Salt Flats on a land Spino. That sounds like suicide. I'm just walking to Hoodoo for water because I'm bored. And I like to stray close to the fire, not dive head first into it, you know? I wanna circle the danger and maybe tempt some of that excitement out to come fight me instead of taking it all head on myself alone. You know? Get Yod, idiot? Oh, gods. That would not be a very fun fight to watch. I'm gonna be so for real with y'all. I'll tell you why it wouldn't be fun. If I died, I would sigh and respawn, and I would say nothing of it. If I did win, I would be trash talking that EO for like the next probably 15 minutes. Let's see what the water level's at. 6%. How long's the server been up? Oh, only 38 minutes. That might explain why it's been so quiet. Greetings, BEQ. I saw you join earlier. Welcome. Calling 5 tactical gritty ducks to my location? It's a little rude, don't you think? Did I drink all of that? Yeah, I did. Okay. Well, I guess we're walking into Stego Mountain then. Hanya's over here trying to get me to crash out right now. That's crazy. There's a Packy. I knew I heard something. They're probably like, what is a Spino doing out here? Love a Zilly rant? Oh my god. New series for me? What? Anya, what would the series be? Oh god. Zilly rants? Oh no. No, we can't. No, we can't do that. The community will kill me. Hanya. Oh, God. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I dropped a take in backer chat in the Path Discord the other day that I think was so bad that the people that love hating on me actually just, like, went quiet and chose not to respond. Because they were like, yeah, this take is so bad, it just speaks for itself. We don't even gotta call it out. You know? Do you guys want to hear what this absolutely abominable take of mine was? Because I will gladly repeat it here for all of you to judge me for. Aside from Path, what games do I enjoy playing? The Souls series. I love the Souls games. Oh my god, everyone's saying yes, tell us? Oh, Jesus. Okay, alright. Okay, alright. Are you ready? Alright, sit down. We're gonna have a little chat here, okay? Alright. Look me in the eyes. Understand, I say this with all seriousness, okay? This is not a joke. This is not a bit. I actually think that the game would be better if we did this, alright? Prepare yourselves, okay? I think Tylo should be nerfed to 750 hit points, down from 900. And I think its health recovery rate should drop from 2 to 1.8. That's my take. I love that there are now mixed reactions in chat, where some people are like, yeah, do it, and the other people are like, are you insane? Big Spino trying to keep the Tylo man down. Man, why are you all agreeing with me? Have you all lost your marbles? Do you know who I am? I'm Mr. Bad Balance Take. Oh my god. The health nerf feels a bit much. Gloss, how much aquatic combat do you engage with? Out of curiosity? Not trying to judge. I'm genuinely asking. How much aquatic PvP do you engage with? Deadly Canadian, I also have takes on Spino nerfs. I also think Spino should get nerfs. So like it's not even like anti-Spino takes are not even like off the table here. Gloss it a little, but I mostly get annoyed with the damage versus health. Yeah, see, so the thing about... Okay, here's the thing about fighting Tylo as a Spino, right? Every time I fight a Tylo that's half competent, I am effectively starting the fight at half HP. Because that's how much health I'm gonna lose when it fully bone breaks me. Right? And at that point, with its 900 HP pool, it has enough durability to just kind of take punishment from me and blitz me down the rest of the way without caring how hard it gets hit. That's the problem with Tylo. It's a 4-slot with 5-slot level of durability while also having insane punch up into said 5 slots. It's kind of dumb, honestly. I think lowering Tylo's max HP while giving it, like, keeping its damage and, like, bone break the same way but lowering its HP makes it a little bit, like, it actually requires it to play to its strengths, and it makes it into the cannon it's supposed to be without also making it out of tungsten. You know? Leon said Spino nerfs. What would you nerf about Spino? I'm so glad you asked. First thing I would do is I would normalize Spino's swim speed. So what I would do is I would remove the 15% increase to swim speed from Streamlined, and then I would take that speed boost and roll it into Spino's base swim speed. That's what I would do first. That immediately opens up build diversity on Spino hides for water combat. Second thing I would do is I would nerf Drench Strike by increasing the stamina cost slightly and lowering the damage. Right now, it does 82.5 while wet. I would lower it down to doing about 75 while wet and cost 5 stam instead of 4. Then I'd go over to Snapjaw. What I would do to Snapjaw... Hello, Megalania. Hello, Metricanthosaurus. I would make it so that Snapjaw only dealt one slice of language. I need to get better at it as a skill. I would make Snapjaw deal 1 stack of sliced while wet instead of 2, and then make it deal no stacks of sliced while dry instead of 1. And then I'd leave it alone. to let the changes kind of like stew in the meta for a little bit. That sounds balanced. Well, yeah. Yeah, that's like the point. One thing I will add is after those changes I just described, if Snapjaw, Drench Strike, Spino still needed nerfs after that, I would then go to Snapjaw and I would lower the damage from 65 to 60. And then again, I would leave it alone. Like, that's like the order of operations. Nerf Drench Strike first, then nerf Snapjaw. If it still needs it. Just kind of trying to open up more breathing room for Spino's other builds to actually have room to perform in mirror matches and stuff. Rex needs to get nerfed first. Hard agree. Yup. Said what I was thinking. Absolutely. Uh-huh. Kill Tyrannosaurus Rex. Want to be friends in game or not? I currently don't. I keep my friends list kind of lean in game, just to try and cut back on the amount of ease my viewers have with stream sniping me, because I, admittedly, am not the biggest fan of getting stream sniped, but I also understand I can't stop it. So Azrael said, your Tylo nerfs help dinos above it, but how do you think we get the other water dinos back? Buff them, question mark. If so, how? Okay, when you say other water dinos, do you mean semi-aquatics or full aquatics? Because full aquatics are actually all overpowered. Include, like, Kai I'm willing to leave alone just because Kai doesn't deal, like, really stupid status ailments like bleed from your Rhino or fracture from Tylo. Right, Kai just kind of does its own thing, and that's fine. Like, let it do its thing, okay? At least for now. But your Rhino? Whew. Good golly gee. Whew. Stinky playable. Stinky playable. All of them? Okay. Alright, so here's the problem with aquatic combat. Okay. Tylo's too strong. Spino, arguably too strong. Mainly because of sweep. I have an idea for how to fix this, but it requires fundamental changes to how the aquatic space as a whole is balanced. It's not something you can just change on Spino and then not make changes to anything else. I can get to that later. Doubling back. Right now, Suko isn't well balanced, and neither is Duck. The reason for this is because both of their hides shift their combat weight, and it's making balancing their two different builds an actual nightmare. Right now, in the water, Suko is performing the best using its dry build attacks. Let that sink in. I think we can all agree that's probably a big issue. Right? Other issue. Sarko. John's stamina. Okay? The thing that has an attack that will rip 15 of your stamina right off of your bar. Okay? Sarko. The 2-slot Destroyer 9000. The Punch Down Connoisseur. Has over 5 minutes of swimming stamina. Actually, why? It already has asphyxiating snap? Why does it actually have a nigh infinite wellspring of stamina? It doesn't need that, guys. It doesn't. So that's another problem, right? Sarko is single-handedly stopping anything small from being allowed to exist in the space. Because it's stupid punch-down specialization, which, mind you, it's really stupid to make a big dino specialize at killing stuff smaller than it, because here's the thing. Big stuff is already, at a base level, good at killing stuff smaller than it. You don't need to make it better, because its combat weight's higher. It does more damage. It takes less damage. Like, why do you gotta give them... Why do you have to make the underdogs have to punch up even... Like why do you have to make them punching up even more difficult than it already is? It's already hard. Like, yeah, no. Sarko's stupid, and it's not letting Meg exist in the space. It's not letting Conka exist in the space, and that's a problem, right? That's why you never see Conkas in aquatic fights. That's why you never see Megs in aquatic fights. Why? Because it's always big fuck-ass semi-aquatics and Tylos accompanied by Sarkos. Because it solves all their problems, right? The Tylos destroy other 5 slots. Other 5 slots destroy everything. And then the Sarkos destroy anything small that could cause the big stuff problems. Azrael, doesn't it have to do that, though, because of what the dino is, behind a design standpoint? I do agree with the issue of not letting Megs and Conks exist. Okay, so here's the thing. It's a design fail. That's the whole point. It is a failure of design. Why? Because... Now, why is it a failure of design? I will explain, okay? It's not that Sarko is bad at doing the thing it's made to do. The problem is that Sarko is too good at doing the thing it's made to do, which creates a very unfun experience for the person on the receiving end of it. There is no engaging with it because it's effectively a cutscene death. That is unhealthy for the space. It's really bad. So Sarko's a problem, right? Not because of what it's doing to the stuff bigger than it, but because of what it's doing to the stuff smaller than it. And then, of course, Duck is being Duck and is causing problems because of combat weight variance and speed variance and, like, a whole bunch of stuff. Like, aquatic combat is such a mess because there's so many leftover remnants of Alderaan's old, abandoned design philosophies that for whatever reason, they continue to drag along with them like an ankle weight. And it's holding back the space. I think the biggest problem with aquatic combat right now is that there are too many extremes. I think aquatic combat needs more limitations in order for it to actually be able to develop into a healthy space. What do I mean by this? Well, going back to Sarko's over 5 minutes of swimming stamina, let's talk about... And that thing that I mentioned about how to fix Spino's sweep being so easily abusable and annoying to fight into, right? It ties into stamina. Stamina, in my opinion, is the real culprit of this problem. Because Spino... Let me pull up I actually have a note on my desktop that has a list of all of the aquatic speed and stamina breakpoints. I wrote them out. Spino, baseline, can sprint swim for almost 3 minutes. With the swim subspecies, over 3.5. Why? Why on earth is a 5 slot able to go full speed, full tilt for 3 minutes? That's a long time. That is a long frickin' time. I think it's too much. I think it's too much. I think if it costed more stamina for big stuff to sprint and to sprint swim in the water, guess what? It would give Spino less time to stall for its really long, annoying cooldowns. And eventually it would stam out. It would get tired. It wouldn't be able to keep sprint swimming anymore at some point. And at that point, it has to stand its ground and fight. And it has to hope that it has enough of an advantage by that point to actually win. Or it doesn't, and it gets checked. Because maybe you were pressuring it, and it was just missing sweeps because you were dodging them, because it's easily baitable, right? And it just kept swimming away and swimming away and swimming away, and then it, exhausts itself, right? So if you attack the stamina on Spino, you solve the sweep problem. But if you attack the stamina on Spino, it stops being able to fight in the water unless you attack everything else's stamina as well. I think stamina values in the water need to be brought closer to what they are on land. Maybe not exactly, but I think instead of Spino having like a 0.6 drain rate, going down to 0.48, I think we can cut that in half. Or not cut that in half, I think we can double that and get away with it. I think we can go up to 1.2. And then let the swim stam sub drop it down to like 1. Or I guess in this case it would drop it down to 1.08. Yeah. Yeah. Start there. Mark that. Make that the new baseline. Go from there. Bring Duck up to like 1 or 1.1, Hell, you could go higher. You could do it like I mean, I wouldn't go as high as their land values just because water combat's so movement dependent. But yeah, you know what? Screw it. 1.2 on Spino for a base swimming stamina cost. Final answer, right? I think it. I think it would be a problem solver for most of them, Eclipse. I really do. I do think it would be a problem solver. Especially on Sarko. Like, I think Sarko's stamina value needs to get, like, shot dead. I think it should not have that much stamina. I think if Sarko wants to outstam stuff that's bigger than it or smaller than it, I think it should have to use Asphyxiating Snap. Right? Like, I think it should have to get that ambush, so to speak, to be able to get the stamina advantage to then have a choice on whether or not it leaves. Think of it like the crocodile runs up to you, kicks you in the nuts, and then runs. Right? Instead of just, like, running away like a little bitch boy right from the start, it has to, like, rah, and then hit you and then run. You know? Like that angry crocodilian that it is. Like, it tries to, like, run up and kneecap you before, like, as a drive-by, as it, like, books it out of the, off to the horizon, out of the POI, or whatever. Something like that. And I know a lot of people aren't necessarily going to like my idea on that front, because for whatever reason, this community is just extremely adverse to anything associated with nerfs. People don't like nerfs. I don't understand why, because nerfs are, at the end of the day, just a tool for balancing purposes. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something demonized or seen as like a negative thing. However, like, I feel like specifically with the aquatic space, it's kind of necessary. Like, I think it's called for at this point. Am I going to implement some of this stuff in my test server if I start that up? 1000% yes. That is entirely, that's the whole purpose. That would be the entire purpose, is me starting up that test server to test this exact kind of stuff. Fact Frenzy said, I think it's just because people want their playables to stay constant or get stronger. It feels bad when your main is weakened. Yeah, I guess, but nah. Aspen said they don't want a healthy game, they just want to be a powerhouse. Yeah, people and their attachment to power fantasies is kind of, I think, holding the game back a lot. Thought the Meg nerf in the water was beyond dumb. I kind of agree. Yeah, I actually think the trot speed nerf to Meg swimming was like really unnecessary. How is Suko doing? Not great. I mean, it's fine, but the problem is that it's like its dry abilities are what are carrying it in aquatic combat right now, which is not a good thing. Like, at all. Like, that's really bad. It's really, really bad. Yeah. Yeah, its dry stuff is carrying it in wet environments. Yep. Clip said, Pot's in a rough state, honestly. It has no replayability once all the TLCs are done for the dinos. What then? Most stick around for the dinos? Well, the hope is that the answer to what then is stuff like metrics, matchmaking changes, AI dinos, game modes, quest overhaul, right? But at this rate, we have no idea when that stuff's actually gonna ship, you know? See you later, Ren. Have a good one. You know what? We're gonna go to Red Island, chat. I feel like it. Matchmaking needs to be a priority. I completely agree. Yep. I think it does. Azrael, I'm in the same boat as you. I am really hoping that things do get better for the game. I want to be optimistic. I really do. Because, you know, I'm kind of hinging my career on this game, so to speak, by being a Path of Titans creator. Because, I'm going to be honest, the algorithm does not like me when I do variety stuff, so I always come back to Path. Like it or not, I'm stuck in this for the long haul, so I like to have hope. I like to think fondly of the future, otherwise I just get depressed. Azrael said Isle's dropping Spino. Thoughts of playing that? I'm never going to play the Isle. That's not a game I am interested in playing. Like, I'm gonna be so honest. Y'all think Path has combat balance issues? Woo! Ooh, man. No, jokes aside, I just I have personal reasons for not wanting to financially support the Isle, and that's that. No judgment against anyone who does play the game or enjoy it. You know, like you should be allowed to enjoy whatever games you like. Like it's your life, do what you want. No judgment there, but it's just not for me. I would have gone after that albino critter if it wasn't a frickin' Siley. Red Island? Yeah, Red Island. Thought I'd stop by for some fresh water. Maybe catch some fish. Top my food up. Continue on my journey. We're just kind of chilling right now, y'all. We're just kind of chilling. Thirsty boy. 5% of the water? Not bad. Yeah, Toad, I kind of agree with you. They do have to do something about raptors when they drop matchmaking. It probably, like, honestly, probably in the same patch even. Oh my god, there's so many Paimas! Well, better take full advantage of it, right? Because fish spawns are, I guess, player-oriented, something like that. I'll clear out all the fish and then leave. So, that way I'm not messing with the fish spawns on the rest of the map. And hey, look at that. Almost filled up my hunker. Luco said, Matt made the more successful game IMO. IL only gets hype when certain streamers try it out. I mean, I don't really keep up with it, so I have no idea. Wen said, Zilla, do you have any ideas as to how Alderaan should encourage wet Suko players to use wet abilities? I think the first thing that needs to happen is they need to ditch the combat weight variance between dry and wet builds on both Suko and Duck. Once they do that, it immediately becomes easier to balance out the differences between dry Suko and wet Suko. Does that make sense? Have I tried prior extinction? Nope. Not going to either. You know what? I'm feeling feisty. Let's go to Darkwoods. Would Snapjaw and Claw Attack be a good combo, or would Lunging Snap Claw Attack be better? They're both good, just for different reasons. Lunging Snap's going to give you more burst in the water, but Snapjaw is going to give you more control of space. Personally, my recommendation would be, like, if you're doing, like, shoreline hybrid stuff, I'd probably go Snapjaw. But if you're dedicating, like, if you're doing a dedicated water build, Lunging Snap might get you a little bit more mileage when paired with Claw Attack. Because if you're doing full water combat and you're using Snapjaw, you really need to be using Drench Strike alongside it, if I'm being completely honest. Unless you intend to play purely defensively. If you intend to play purely defensive, then Snapjaw with Claw Attack is fine, and the reason for that is because then you're not spending stamina on your attacks, which means that your entire stamina bar becomes dedicated to movement and making space, which Drench Strike costing stamina, obviously you get to do that a little bit less in exchange for better trading power. Gotta go chill with your kid now? Yeah. Go have fun, Ezreal. Spend time with your child. Enjoy it. I know I love spending time with my daughter, so W choice. Have fun. Thanks for stopping in, honestly. Loved all the questions. Doubling back to Suko's like bleed attacks in the water. I did like that Alderaan wanted to make bleed feel a little bit more painful in the water, make it sting a little bit more. I just think that they overdid it. I think instead of doubling bleed in the water, they should have like increased it by maybe 25 to 50%, somewhere in there. That might have been better. Gotten any kills? Are we counting Arapaima? Because I caught 2. What do you want, Picno? You want the smoke? Sir. Alright, well, I'm gonna go back to doing my kelp. We got a pick now. Whoa. More food. And a trophy. Very cool. Called it. I mean, hey, like, the guy's never gonna learn until he tries, right? Sometimes I think you learn a lot from biting off more than you can chew. You know? And with death being so inconsequential in this game, dude was probably bored out of his mind. Like, I high-key don't blame him. I might have been the first interaction he'd seen in, like, an hour.
Like, he had the right idea with, like, trying to cheese the tail tip for free damage. He just got break checked. Because he made himself a little bit too predictable. You also gotta understand, sometimes folks misjudge cooldowns, and that can be why they, like, get caught by something. Because, like, let's be honest, 7-second sweep cooldown, for as hard of a hitting an attack as it is, with Spino's bulk, 7 seconds ain't that much time. If I'm gonna be so for real, it is not much. Aloe through the fog on my 2 o'clock. Smaller aloe. 2 smaller aloes. And an Iggy. Do not... That's not a fully grown Iggy. That's gotta be sub-adult. Do not mind me, kind sir. No! No! Chat, he's drinking salt water. Oh, no. Oh, this is terrible parenting right here. Gang. Oh, that hurt to watch. That hurt so much. The poor little bastard's gonna die, guys. Oh, look, another aloe. Hello there. Especially when the freshwater's just up the hill. I know. It's... Ugh. You know, speaking of freshwater being just up the hill. Wait! You can't get the salt debuff while you have home cave protection. Oh my. Chat, I think I just learned something. Oh, never mind. It just wasn't going to appear. Okay, I thought I found out something really cool and interesting, and I was wrong. I'm sorry. Okay. They got me. The bastards got me. I thought we found something cool. I thought we did. I really did. We were this close, chat. We were this close. It's okay. What are you doing? Child. Alright, time to drink this thing dry. What are you doing, Aloe? What is this? What do we... Chat, did I start a cuddle puddle? Ah, fuck. Jenny's calling for blood? Gang, they've got new players they're growing. I'm not about to slime them out. They literally had a child drinking salt water. I don't want to be that guy, y'all. I don't want to do it to him. Why are you... Go away. Go away. Leave me alone. All right. They'll learn. They learned. All right, they learned. Did they? Fuck if I know. Look, Rads, I made an example of that one. Okay? They learned what happens when you poke the bear. See you later, James. Have a good night. Yam said, Zilla, how come you ain't running the other claw and bite today? Because I am a masochist. And I really like DPS Spino, even though I know it's technically bad compared to Snap Drench. You know? It's entirely personal preference. I am intentionally handicapping myself, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking, y'all. I don't know what was going through their head. Ooh, mossy beds. Hooray, 50 marks. Woohoo. I'm rich, chat. Alright, my cat, have a good night. Get some good rest. Yeah, honestly, chat, Deadly Canadian is 100% correct. Like, it is technically content, but also, this is just the Spino build that I prefer. Again, not because it's good or meta or the best. I'm more comfortable with it. I don't like Snap Drench. It's really good. It's really strong. It's really powerful, and I'm not a fan. I run this build for the love of the game and nothing more. Well, things are about to get spicy, because we are slowly making our way in the general direction of Big Quill. Water is at 44%. That's pretty low, all things considered. Lots of folks drinking out of this water. Could be anywhere along this river all the way up to Big Quill. And including Big Quill, because Big Quill feeds into this river system. So we shall find out. I love that stingrays give poison healing when poison healing is like one of the most useless buffs you could ever have in the game, considering only Metri deals poison and only with one specific hide and only as reflect damage. It's so goofy. For fun, out of all the fights I've encountered, what was the most unique in an underrated biome? That's a great question. Oh, Stingray's venom? Oh, it's poison and venom. Oh, okay, never mind. That's actually kind of gas. Okay, anyway, back to, most unique fight in an underrated biome. I had a 2v1 with Flight in one of the tunnels of wind tunnels. It was me on Claw Slam Land Spino and Hunya on Conka against Flight's bars. And that was a very interesting fight, to say the least. Notice that as I pass through the traditionally more trafficked section of Green Hills and get closer to Big Quill, I'm no longer sprint swimming as a means of intentionally conserving my stamina. And so when I'm swimming on the surface, I'm not kicking up a bunch of particle effects. Who won? I did. Barely. By the actual skin of my teeth. There's actually a video of it up on videos up of it on my channel. It's also in one of my stream VODs if you want to see it at a higher video quality than what the clip showed. The video is literally titled Zilla and Hunya de Crazy versus Flight X Star. Oh, hi, Rex. Sir, is there a reason that you're like... Chat, am I crazy for thinking he made it up that hill just a little bit too fast? Uphill? Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Cause like, that's a pretty steep hill. That's like a really steep hill. I don't know. I don't like it. Ambush speed buff? I mean, I guess. But, like, I would have thought moving uphill, Rex wouldn't be that fast, you know? It just... Damn. He moved up the... That's, like, as close to straight vertical as you can get without it being straight vertical. Like, that's the steepest walkable slope I've ever seen in my fucking life. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe my spinal bias is showing. Maybe that's what it is. See, it's not brace legs. It was a T-Rex. Rex doesn't have brace legs. Also, holy critters. Why are there so many fish in this lake? Or sorry, critters, not even fish. That's just like, I think I was legitimately just looking at like 8 critters in my field of view at once. 2 of which were alphas. Okay. Mellow duck. What is that? 2 Sukos? Titan on the shoreline alongside a Rex. Duck is currently having W key syndrome. So we're gonna get tail attack, Monsieur. Tis an interesting choice. I'm sorry, are you running back to your Titan and Rex friend? I see by technicality I chose the correct side. Yeah. That was predictable. And as we can see collectively as a team, all they know how to do is face tank. That's what we're going to do. We're going to heal off this bleed. And look at that. All that progress that Duck made. Up in smoke. And now, we heal cycle it. I am going to get another whiff of this trout for the improved bleed heal rate. Yeah. There's your Titan. Yeah. ahead. We're gonna get pike. Eat it soon enough. I gotta keep an eye out for Sarcos and Tylos, though. Rex is off to go heal all that damage, I suppose. 2 Stegos? Yeesh. I get the impression staying here is unwise. So I'm gonna go ahead and begin my exit plan. That's another duck. So we're gonna go this way. Well, we didn't get any kill confirms, but I feel like we were sufficiently disruptive. Speaking of, is this wise for me to pick this fight not at full health? No, of course not. Is he going to bother challenging me? No, of course not. See how far inland he is? Yeah, that is not worth overcommitting to. He's a little bit too confident in that. I also have no ability to stand pressure it, if it is the build that I think it is. Because even a full water build duck is able to escape Spino on land, which is crazy, but it is the way that it is. That's still shallow. Is Spino the slowest non-aquatic dino on land? No. It's the second... It's technically... Actually, okay. It is second slowest. The slowest is Anno, without Rust Dried. Tied with Spino, for the second slowest land speed, is Amarga. But I dare to say Amarga is technically faster because Amarga has a lot more stamina on land than Spino does. No, I'm not counting ramp, it's a flyer. But anyway, yeah. Spino's really damn slow. Green Hills is lit. Eotrek is not the slowest. Spinosaurus has a trot speed of 375 and a maximum sprint speed on land of 700. Eotriceratops has a trotting speed of 420 and has a maximum sprint speed of 775. Just gonna bite that one and keep moving. How is EO at the moment? Busted or wet paper towels? It's busted. Oh, Suko. Oh, poor Suko. Felled by the opportunist. I'm gonna take a chunk to go. We're gonna go back north. I feel like going back north. What's my stance on the paleontology debate of Spinosaurus' ability to actually swim? I think we should stop arguing about it until we can find its damn arms. But that's just me. See you later, Leon. Have a good one. How's the stream been so far? Pretty relaxed. Pretty relaxed. Only encountered one megapack so far, and only because I kind of went to where they like to gather of my own volition. So it's kind of on me that I ran into them. But I got in, didn't overstay my welcome, got out. Last I heard, we don't have Spino's front arms. We have estimates because of its Spinosaurid cousins. But I don't think we have Spino's arms, specifically. At least that's, again, last I heard. Yin, as much as I would like to think that your suggestion would work, as much as I want it to work, unfortunately, if you make EO's combat weight 5,000, it gets stat checked by Rex, regardless of build. And, Alderaan doesn't want that, apparently, which is why they keep buffing EO. Because Rex and EO are locked in this horrible arms race of face tanker versus face tanker. And they keep trying to one-up each other. And it's destroying all of the careful balance Alderaan spent years building with the 5 slots. Uh-oh, Titan's pass is red. That's not a good sign. Is Io still bad against small things, question mark? No. No, it's fine. The amount... Let me put it this way. The amount of difference between how much damage Io is doing to Smalls right now versus how much damage it was doing to Smalls before they gave it armor piercing is a difference of like 10 damage. Io is doing like 10 to 15 less damage. It's the same breakpoints, y'all. It just maybe sometimes takes one extra headbutt to kill the Serato. Maybe. There's like no different. There is like basically no difference between pre-armor piercing EO and half armor piercing EO as far as its punch down power goes. The only difference is that Backlash is no longer bugged and dealing 70 damage instead of 35. You know what's really funny? Everyone likes to say that AoE Spino is like really good against small stuff, but a lot of the folks I play with regularly on community server, whenever we would play on like 2 slots and stuff, we actually had like a system for dealing with AoE Spinos, and we could fight them easily with like no casualties and either kill them or force them to retreat to water. It was pretty goofy. But I think EO's kind of a mess right now. I think giving EO armor piercing, or even just giving it half armor piercing, was a mistake that only improved its firepower into a matchup it didn't need more firepower into, that being Spino. Phone Company, I am 100% with you on that. Drench Strike Spinos are way harder to fight than AoE Spinos. Drenched will actually hit you from all the way in Nebraska. Like, I don't know. People tell me that AoE Spinos are, like, obnoxious to deal with, and, like, yeah, they're annoying, but also, like, baiting their attacks is super easy and takes minimal effort, and you take minimal damage from it, so, like, you know, you can just do what Smalls would do anyways, just bait the attacks and then punish during the cooldown window and profit. Yeah, see, Yin, the issue with EO right now, when you say EO should be the shield to Rex's Battle Axe, the problem is that they gave EO the shield while also giving it Rex's Battle Axe. You see where the issue is? Hello, crocodile. How long have you been swimming for? I wonder if perhaps I could stand pressure you. Is it bordering on impossible that I can? Yes. Do I care? Not entirely. Worth. $100% worth. Bit the concha for good measure. Just make sure it knows its place. Then now back north we go. Another trophy for our collection. Hi Muga. Bye Muga. Ella, not Dave with the 5 gifted? Can we get a W, Ella? Pizza monies? Oh, thank you so much. We love the pizza monies. Hell yeah. Doe said, at this point, what does beat EO that doesn't rely on the do not... What beats EO that doesn't rely on the EO not knowing what they're doing? Nothing. Nothing. That's the problem. Nothing short of maybe a Latin. And even then, that's a big fat maybe. The bird brought me a fish. I will take a nibble. Here. Oh. Well, I guess we keep the streamer loot then. Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna take the trophy. I have the buff from the fish. I'm happy. I'm taking the trophy. Alright, here's how we're gonna make it down this. Just like this. Boom. Done. Oh, wow. God fish spawn, I guess? That's crazy. Oh, it's pronounced Ellie. Oh my god, that makes my life so much easier. Oh. Thank you for this amazing reveal. I wish you had said something sooner. 3 Arapaima. I forgot how many Arapaimas spawn in Sharptooth. It's actually crazy. Alright, well, we're going to turn this trophy into the DP home cave, and then we're going to get water afterwards. See you later, Gloss. Thanks for stopping in. Nest was destroyed. Oh, the bastards. Oh, well. Does anyone go to Sharptooth? I sometimes see Tylos passing through there, but other than that, you know, it's just, you know, the occasional Sarko. And then me. Nope, that was a creature of the young or small variety. This is an Achillibator. be very, very quiet. Right. The conga has it distracted. Second heavy. Spino. Okay. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Turn this in. Top up our stam. Yeah, EO doesn't just beat Spino on land, it beats it silly. Like, it's a legitimately unwinnable fight right now. Unless the EO's actual buns. And even then, it might cost you your life to kill it. Alright, with home cave buff, we're just gonna drop over here. And for good measure. Oh my god, more streamer loot. How come I'm so far from water? Because I had to go to the home cave to turn in the trophy. It was, the Desolate Pass home cave was the closest one. Just because semi-aquatics are more advantaged near water doesn't necessarily mean that they can always be near big bodies of water. You know? They are semi-aquatic after all. They should be allowed to venture inland. Alright, we're gonna go to hot springs to get water. Zemos, is that EO yours? You bastard, is that you? Rads said all semi-aquatic means is you leave the water when there's a Dilo. That's funny. And I agree with it. Slop. Oh. Oh dear. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Alright. Drench Strike. Typical. And this is why having lunch would be so great. Miss the sweep. Okay. Keep moving. Conka's helping, I guess. We need a heal stall. Conserve stam. We are waterborne. We have a stam advantage. We are probably getting heal cycled, though, due to a lack of water. However, it does not matter in extended chase, because their croc did not know how to use O2 bite. So now we make it out. Reason I don't have lunge like last time is because I would like to be... I don't like being asthmatic on land. I like having access to enough stamina recovery to let me at least brawl sufficiently. Okay. We're gonna surface swim so we get stand back faster. I will take the streamer Lotus Peak. W tuna. Okay, we survived. Am I kidding? Here comes the Conka. Well, it's not dead. That's impressive at the very least. If that Sarko had been using O2 snap instead of just bite spamming, I definitely would have died. Looks like we're getting water from Savannah, I guess. POI's lit up, but... Conko, what are you doing? It killed the Sarco. Take the fish. I'm on trophy cooldown, good sir. Thank you, but I cannot take your treasure. You earned that shit. Any tips on how to stay alive longer as a Spino getting targeted? If you insist on continuing to play on Spino, then unfortunately you're just gonna have to get better at the game and try and fight them off. Like, a Spino is too slow on land. Like, it's the second slowest thing in the game on land. Not counting full aquatics dragging themselves onto the beach. And it's one of the slower semi-aquatics. So it's able to be caught by most things. Which, unfortunately, means that you don't really have any optional fights outside of, oh, this thing is a land-dwelling creature. I can go to water now and... Oh, fuck. That's the duck I saw at Big Quill earlier. I'm gonna drain every single one of these ponds. Unfortunately, I think I have to go back to Hot Springs. There's no water here. If you... So John, if you are continuing to struggle with Spino, even despite all your attempts to improve with it, I hate saying it, but I think your best option is to switch to something with a little bit more speed. So you have a little bit better engagement selection and can kind of have more say in what fights you get involved in and what you don't. Just to let yourself get a better feel for the game as a whole before going back to Spino. Yeah, of course, John. Anytime. I'm more than happy to help new players best as I can if they ask for assistance. I don't know who this style is, but they're goated as hell. That damn EO's here. What do you do if you're a Spino and there's an EO? You don't want to leave. How do you win? Pray. Rads. Pray. Which version of Conka's better in my opinion? I think hybrid Conka is hands down the weakest, and you should commit either to full water or full land, and not half-ass it. Have a good night, Silver. What button's the summon Rex Buddy button? Alt F4. Oh man. I am gonna be honest, y'all. I am tuckered out. I'm tuckered out. Which Carnivore Apex is the easiest to play? Rex. Period. End of story. Not even close. Definitely Rex. What's my least played dino? And second most played dino? Or second most played dino? My least played has gotta be... It's gotta be Uranosaurus. Yeah, that's my least played. My second most played is a toss-up, really. I think it's a toss-up between Aloe and Serato. And yeah, I would say Rex is easier to play than Feast Titan. Feast Titan's kind of complicated. Rex is very simple. With Rex, you hold W and you left click until they die. You have to do other things with Titan. You have to, like, be smart, you know? And the difference is that, like, if you hold W and left click spam with Titan, you kind of die. But if you do it with Rex, you kind of win. So, like, you know, I would say Rex is easier. Do brain cells as opposed to no brain cells? Okay. Yeah, yes. Precisely. I'm glad we understand. Speaking of no brain cells, if you ever see anyone complaining about Rex losing a face tank to a Spino, okay, understand there's nothing going on in that head of theirs. Nothing at all. The light bulb has long since burnt out and not been replaced, if you catch my meaning. Alright, we're gonna home cave in this home cave, the mudflats, and then I'm gonna go straight the fuck to sleep. Yam, I would not say Spino is the hardest to play. I would say Spino is the hardest to be successful with. It is very easy to not die on Spino. It's very easy to avoid fights, avoid encounters. Swim away, tail attack stuff off of you, lunge away, right? Like, if you full water build and you don't want to engage with anybody, and you just go to land every time you see a Tylo or a Urino, nothing's killing you, frankly. It's really easy to not die on Spino. It is very hard to pick up Spino as a new player and actually win fights with it. It's very, very hard. Imarch, I would actually super disagree with your take. I think bleeders take game knowledge. I don't think they take skill. I actually think bleeders have one of the easiest, most brainless playstyles of all time. In the form of bleed stalling. Because, like, once you cap out the bleed, your job becomes do nothing for the next 3 minutes. I think that's stupid. I think that's really uninvolved. I think it's super unintuitive. I think it's kind of cringe. It's unfun to deal with. It's unfun to do. I'd say learning how to win your 5-slot 1v1s as a Spino is extremely demanding. So, to that extent, I would say that Spino probably, like, land Spino specifically, of the 5 slots, land Spino, I would say, takes the most skill, just because all of its matchups are uphill battles, and Spino does not have a get Tail Rider off me free card in the form of a tail attack with knockback, because Sweep does no knockback. So, to do well with Spino into other 5 slots, you have to really, really, really master precise movement and learn how to break check. And that's a lot to ask of some people. If I'm being honest with y'all, if you see most officials players, you'd understand I am correct when I say that. Want a home cave tour before I sleep? Okay, first up, trophy room. Okay, bear in mind this trophy room has not been updated, but this is my Spino's trophy room. Please understand, I only started playing Spino on officials about 6 months before I started my YouTube channel. So I do not have some veteran tenured horde of trophies to show off like some of the people that have been playing since the original Panjura days. You know. Over here is my pride and joy. Oh, wait, hold on first. Refer a friend statue. Well decorated with crushed bones, bloodstones, and rib cages. It's my favorite aesthetic part of this main room outside of the palm tree. Palm tree's peak aesthetic. In here, I have my lounge along with my many fish piles because I love fish. We're not going to talk about the masochistic pile of turtle shells on the side. You do not want to know how many Gifts of the Sea quests I did because I can't tell you. Anyway, lots of fishies. I like fish. I liked doing the fish quests. Every time I got them, I would farm them to try and get the home cave decos for it. And then, last but not least, certainly not least, we have the bedroom. All right, chat. I think we're calling it now. I think I am going to go about as my Spino is currently going, and I am going to go to bed. So, to everyone here, thanks for stopping in. If you haven't liked the stream, please go ahead and do that. If you haven't subscribed, you should do that too. And if you've done both of those things, huge thank you. But you got one more thing to do. You gotta go ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. And then when you're done doing that, y'all, come join my Discord. For real. For realsies. We have a great time in there. You absolutely should. The plug of the night complete. Have a good one, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.